you on the bed. Sometime today. Thank you. Oh, don't mess with the light. You're messing with the light. Stop messing with the light.
Of course it's gonna mess with the light.
Whew. Stop it. You gotta face the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta face the chat. Probably should take that Tony H out of the back. It'll be alright.
I forgot you guys left that there.
Yeah.
The other day. Get the pew pew out of the way. There you go. That works. Hello, hello. Welcome to the Big Bear Homestead.
Boy, oh boy. Ooh. I tell you, when I was doing my talk for the walk this morning, boy, I was sweating. I was getting up there getting all kinds of excited, sweating.
Yeah?
Yeah. I probably burned 1,000 calories giving that talk.
Just giving your talk. That's funny. Don't cover it up.
36 minutes. 36 minutes.
I still can't believe you sat up there and talked.
I didn't stop. I was standing. I was walking around talking. So,
Hey,
here they all
Niana.
come. What's up, mind and body lost dude, Niana?
And April.
April.
April. Oh, I am like surviving in Alabama. What up? Y'all
That's
even
good.
recognize this person?
Oh, will you stop it?
He hadn't even been here for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, what was I doing the first one?
You found out about what's his name's.
Oh, DJ.
Yeah, and then your men
Men's.
came over.
Yeah.
And then last week was fundraiser for the church.
Yeah. Fundraiser for the church.
Fundraiser
Church.
for the church. I need.
20. The youth 20. That's what we use to dispatch our pigs with a slug.
Yeah.
In the noggin. Oh. Woo! So we were outside working it today, y'all.
What that's Mirror.
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 Yeah, see, we use that with those.
Can you
thing of
bring
lead.
some lotion for me, please?
Puts the lotion in the basket.
I've never, I have not had any issues before with, that's good, with my hands drying out, being out in the soil. I don't know what is up with all that out there, but my hands are so dry right now. I don't, ugh. Had 4 of the grandkids today.
Oh.
We had 3 last night.
We had our adopted 3 last night.
Our bonus grandkids.
Bonus.
That's what I call. So Ella is my bonus daughter. I call her my bonus daughter. And then the chitlins, I call them either the chitlins or I call them my bonus grandkids.
Oh. Never thought of it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what I call them.
Just pay it for the kids I ain't got to pay to go to college.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a house full last night. That was fun.
But the kitchen garden is literally pretty much done. All we got to do is take the compost out of the bucket and transfer it into the bed.
Yeah, and I want to get the soil out of that big blue tub that we had last year.
Mm-hmm. So what
that got too close.
What are we going to put in it?
Nothing. It's got a big hole in the side of it from where it got too close to the fire.
Right, well, we can grow something out of that hole.
I mean, you could, I guess.
Yeah,
hey, Sherry, what's up? But I didn't really like the problem with that big. It's huge, and when we were originally, it's huge. When we were originally doing it, I forgot to. Your heart is awful. Wait a minute. Hold on. See, my heart is perfect. Yours is not. Wait till you have 6 real grandchildrens. I don't know that that'll ever happen. We'll see. But when I originally filled that bucket up, I didn't put any hugelkultur in it. It's straight up soil. And so I've been bucketing it out and filling up beds that needed to be filled. Your heart looks like a square.
Who said that?
April. What's y'all's suggestion? I have some sort of blight on the potato leaves.
Ooh, they got too wet.
That's what it sounds like.
The leaves got too wet.
Move my strawberries to pots.
Well, we've just had, you probably got hammered just like we did with all of this rain. I would go ahead and prune those leaves off, burn them, get rid of them, and then let your potatoes will send out. They'll send out new leaves.
They should send out new leaves.
And you should be okay. But I would go ahead and prune them and get them
it gone. Yeah. We're finally starting to get strawberries on our plants.
No, those are not strawberries. Those are straw boulders. Them mamma jammas are like that. Mm-hmm. They're huge.
They are. And tasty. Very tasty.
So we also we invented something here.
Well, really invented.
Hey, we invented
it. We made our own concoction here at the house.
We did frozen yogurt with the fresh fruit. Mm-hmm. And we will never make ice cream again.
No, we never did. Because you need an ice cream churner and, the machine and the rock salt and all that stuff. And this is as simple as making our yogurt and then blending some fruit into it. And then we put them in, just like how we do our butter. We're putting them in the cupcake, the silicone cupcake. Mm-hmm. And what's nice
Which I think is not really a good idea.
Why?
Because then I don't get to eat as much. See, Carol and I would
He's rationed to 2 of those, which is like half of a cup, which is a serving size of frozen yogurt.
Carol and I we would sit down at night, and there would be a big Tupperware container.
Yeah.
Full of that frozen yogurt. Mm-hmm. And we would devastate that.
Well, the whole reason why we went to the cups is because you and Carol would sit down and devastate it, and then Lindessa and I wouldn't get any.
Oh, that's not
and then by the time we went to make more,
so we made it with strawberries, we made it with blueberries, and we made it with mango
and blackberries.
And we combined it strawberries and blueberries.
I think so.
And I don't think we've combined strawberries and blackberries yet.
I'm not sure.
But let me tell you, the mango.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
it's like it's what I imagine sherbet tastes like, but not as creamy. No, our yogurt is creamy. It's got like a very creamy flavor to it. It's really good, but the texture is what I imagine that sherbet tastes like. But
okay, you'll never call our frozen yogurt that
sherbet?
No, never again.
No, it's not. It's
okay,
different.
You're not even gonna put it in the same category.
Sherbet.
Okay, well, let me remind you. God. Husband.
Wife. Husband.
Wife. Honor and obey.
You can honor and obey your butt out on the couch. So, I don't know if you saw what Lost Dude said, that they're getting so much rain in California that the strawberries are rotting on the plants. So, to expect store shortages.
Oh, that's weird. Rain in California?
Rain, fire.
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you guys are getting a lot of rain, that also is going to put a damper probably on tomatoes and
A whole bunch of stuff.
A whole bunch of stuff that's coming out of California.
Yeah.
You know, but let me ask you guys this. I just recently stumbled across it. I did not know that this was already, I mean, I knew they were doing it, but I did not know that they have already rolled it out in stores. That's what I told you about today.
Oh.
If you are going to the grocery store to buy chicken, you now need to look at the label, and if it doesn't say hatched in America and processed in America, don't get it. Because if it doesn't say that, there's a good chance that it is now that factory made meat, that fake meat that they're making in laboratories.
That's gross. Cicadas hatching. I forgot it's cicada year.
I stumbled across that tidbit of information this week.
I don't know, where'd you find it? Because I haven't seen that anywhere.
It was on the intranet.
So it must be true.
It was at Aldi is where the lady was filming, and she showed the one pack of chicken that it showed that it said hatched in America, processed in America, and had American flag on it.
Right.
And then she went to the next selection of chicken, and it didn't.
So you lost me there, because all these rules are pretty strict about what they carry. Because
I think it was Aldi.
It can't be Aldi. It had to be somewhere else, because Aldi's really funny. Like they won't do, like there's certain things that they won't carry in their stores.
Mm-hmm. Just like they won't in the self-checkouts.
Huh? Speaking of which, so while we were out door dashing, we heard from a Dollar General person that Dollar General is ixnaying all of their self-checkouts because they have had huge losses. And the rumor is that Walmart will be following suit.
That does not surprise me, because I knew Walmart was taking a huge hit. Like publicity wise, but also they were taking a huge hit financially, because
their loss prevention, their loss,
was just through the roof.
Yeah. And so that's what she told me while we were there. She's like, yeah, midnight tonight, they're all going offline. And even with the cameras and everything, there's nothing they can do about it. Like, they can put them on film that they've done it, but they can't, So, so that's, that's happening.
Because at the end of the day, all the person has to say is, I swiped it. I thought I heard it beep, so I put it in the bag. I'm not trained on. I don't know how to do this.
Anyone boycotting Tyson Foods for their firing of U.S. citizens and hiring illegal immigrants. I hate to say this.
I heard that too.
I hate to say this, but I don't believe that that's new news. I went to school in Arkansas, right outside of where Tyson was. Tyson was in Springdale. And that was 1995.
Showing your age, woman.
So we're talking almost 30 years ago. And they were using illegals then.
Oh, I mean, they've been using illegal. I mean, that was one of the things when we first started homesteading that, that was one of the things that brought to light way back in '05 when we, well, that's when we started our channel, but we really, before that, '03, '04, we learned about how the chicken company, Tyson and all them, they were using all of these chemicals to quote unquote wash your food and clean your chicken because they had migrant workers and they were basically treating them like slaves.
Yeah.
And
so quality of work.
They didn't care. And so they were nicking intestines and nicking stomachs, whether it's chicken, pork, and that fecal matter and stuff was getting on the meat. And so they would throw them in these soap bins, these big, huge water bins. And when they drained those bins, it had about 6 inches of fecal matter
on the bottom.
Of it. And anybody knows chicken.
It's very porous.
Very, very, very porous. Mm-hmm. And so it was soaking up all that stuff. And so they were having to nuke our food and soak it in pine sol to be able to get it clean or to a standard where the fecal matter was low enough that it was able to be sold to the public.
Yeah.
And so, it's not new news, but they have gone to the extreme now to fire the American workers that were making this much so they can hire the illegal immigrants and pay them this much.
Yeah.
And so that's what the big stink is.
So my thing is it's not even about boycotting at this point. It's about your safety. Because if you're buying
who's the second one, Jack? What's going on, man? Long time no see. How you doing?
The story I saw said Tyson was firing entire plants and reopening them days later with all migrant workers.
I saw that same.
Yeah.
I saw that same story.
So my thing is, it's not even about boycotting. It's about, do you want to have your chicken marinated in feces? Because
well, yes, but at the same time, we have to. This is a grassroots thing here, where we have to start to take our country back. Y'all remember I called stuff like this
vote with your dollar.
6 months ago, 7 months ago, when I said that I felt like we were on the verge of having another Teamsters type movement in this country, that we were going to have we were going to need another Jimmy Hoffa type person to come in and protect American jobs, because we were going to start to see this this kind of BS happening, and all it is that muckety muck that's sitting up at the top of Tyson. He wants to have a raise, and so he knows that the American public, he can't raise the price of the chickens anymore because he knows the American public is taxed beyond belief with all the inflation and everything. So how is he going to raise his profit margin so he can take more home? Oh, well, why am I going to pay an American at $25, $30 an hour when I can drop down and pay this illegal person $9 or $10 an hour, and they'll work all day long, and they won't worry about medical, they won't worry about 401k, they won't worry about workman's comp, and they're illegal. So if they do get hurt, I just call in ICE and they ship them back, and then I go right down to the Home Depot or wherever they're collecting them, boom, pick up another one, and they got them. And it's at the end of the day, it's basically paid slave labor. And that's what it boils down to. And we've got to put a stop to that. We got to start standing up for our rights. And we don't buy chicken at the store anyway. So
Not often, but we do occasionally. So you told me, you're like, I know you don't buy it often, but if you do.
You know, we're not, and that's how we're going to get their attention. Case in point. Just like I heard, and Lost Dude, you can back this up and tell me if this is true. I heard that out in California, they're getting ready to I know them, Rod and Staff Farms.
I don't know.
They are from way back.
I don't
way
remember.
back. I haven't. Wow, guys, y'all stopped me in mid sentence. How y'all doing? But Lost Dude, correct me if I'm wrong. That I heard that California is getting ready, especially for the fast food industry. They're going to raise that minimum wage to about $20 an hour.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about this the other day.
And so if that is true, and that trickles through the rest of the country, I'm going to call it now because they're already teetering. You're going to watch McDonald's go out of business. Because McDonald's is already struggling because their target demographic can no longer afford to eat at their establishment. And the people that can afford to eat at their establishment won't eat that garbage.
Nope, they won't pay it. They'll pay a couple dollars more and eat at Arby's or Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Already did it.
So, April 1st, yeah.
So Mark said, hey, he was watching a movie with his wife. So hello, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
It's Christy, right? Isn't that her name? Kim, hello. Michelle from Macon. What's up?
Macon, Georgia.
Not too far. Yeah.
Right down the road. How's it going, Michelle?
I read they already raised it.
Yeah.
$20 an hour.
And so you're going to watch as much as I don't like McDonald's, okay? McDonald's, my first job was McDonald's, but that was way back in the day when there was still customer service, when there was still...
Well, and an actual burger was like this thick, not this thick.
But at the end of the day, McDonald's is an American icon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day.
I'm trying to figure out who that is. You said you... Rock and Staff.
Yeah.
I'll have to look them up later. For now.
and to see an American icon like that crumble
Yeah.
is it's something to be concerned about.
Yes.
You know, because at the end of the day, you know, when everybody was talking too big to fail, you know, you were looking at companies like McDonald's. You were looking at Apple, and you were looking at Microsoft, and you were looking at Google, but you were looking at Burger King and Walmart, and you know, back when I was growing up, it was Kmart and Rose's was too big to fail, but they eventually went under.
No, you can keep that crap.
You know, but you're gonna start to see American icon companies, and unless we do something about it, we got about 40 chickens from us. They're right up the road. They're the ones in the mountains. Her husband, I think her husband.
Oh, that's the one that we rescued.
Their husband tans the hides.
That's the one that we rescued.
If my memory is correct.
Yes. Okay, so Lost Dude says 10-piece chicken nuggets, medium fry, medium coke, $25. You could keep it. Yeah.
Look, Robin turned into a Karen because we went to the VA. Now, everybody that's been around for a long time knows that if I behave myself at the VA, I get a reward. And it used to be a Baldino's sub. Baldino's, but to me, they, you know, I'm a sandwich guy. I love subs. I love hoagies. I love heroes. I love all of those. And sausages. I also love sausages. I'm your typical red-blooded American.
What you're having for dinner tonight?
What? Subs?
Sausages.
Yes. Now see, now you done got my brain all messed up.
Anyway, you love sandwiches, so Baldino's is always a treat.
Yeah, because a lot of And it goes back to, this is why I'm learning how to make my own lunch meat, because this is another thing that died. All your mom and pop delis are gone.
I remember you at McDee's.
Yeah, I put 5 pounds on you at Mickey D's, didn't I? Anyway,
Delis.
The delis, so they're all gone. So you have to pick and choose, and I just really enjoyed Baldino's. Well, for some crazy reason, and I don't know why, because every time we went there,
they were always busy. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
But they decided to close the doors on that Baldino's down there
location.
on Wrightsboro Road. I think the only one now, and Jack, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's all the way out in Hephzibah.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
It was gone. And I said, it's been since, Jesus was a corporal that I had Checkers French fries.
Yes.
And I said, you know what? Just let's just run into Checkers. Just get me a large fry. It's been forever and a day since I had those. I'll take that, and we'll go on.
We'll go on
down the road. We pulled in there. Got the large fry and a drink, and 2 drinks, right? Or 1 drink?
A large fry and 2 drinks, I think.
And 2 drinks.
I think that was it.
And the bill...
It was like $10.
Yeah, like $10 or $11.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I told Robin, I said, just tell him to cancel it. Let's just go. I was not willing to pay that. She's like, no, he had to mess up. And so he handed us the bag, and he said it was, said the price, and then handed us the bag, and Robin was handing him the card, and I opened it up, and y'all, it reminded me of an old McDonald's small container. And I picked it up, and I'm like, this is a large? And she went straight Karen, y'all, I ain't even gonna lie. She went ballistic. The guy says, well, it says large on it. And I went, oh,
look at the bottom of the box. It says large. And I'm like,
you just messed up. And I mean, that was a prime example of shrinkflation and inflation
at the same
time. And it was really heartbreaking because, I really like Checkers fries. But you know what? I'm never going to eat a Checkers fries again.
But you know what? Ouch. You know what?
That was an extreme close-up, by the way.
We learned how to make those. So and that's what's going on is the companies are just going to put themselves out of business by doing that, because there are a lot of us ever since COVID, a lot of us were like, you know what? I can't go out to eat, but I still want Olive Garden, so I'm going to learn how to make Zuppa Toscana.
Yeah.
Or I really like, Red Lobster. I want to have their cheddar biscuits. I am craving their cheddar biscuits. Guess what? I'll make them myself. And
yeah, we have a lady in our small group that can make them, and they, in my opinion, they are better.
And that's the reality, is when you have the time to put the attention into a single serving of something as opposed to a short order cook that has to keep making the same thing over and over again, you're going to make it better. That's just the reality of it. So when you make your own lasagna, or you make your own cheddar biscuits, or you make your own iced coffee at home.
Well, at the end of the day, the powers that be that put everybody on lockdown for 2020 as a test run, and we're trying to think about how they can manipulate that. They just plain out forgot that Generation X is still alive. We're still kicking, and they forgot that we were self-sufficient at 8 years old. We wore a key around our neck. We knew stranger danger. We brought our butts to the house. We locked the door. We weren't letting relatives in unless mama said it was okay, and they knew the password, but we were cooking a full meal by the time mama got home, and we were even starting dinner. And so why are you surprised? And so
yeah, so that's what's happening.
You got Generation X going, I'm not going to pay $12 for a small fry.
Right, no.
When I can go home, I can go buy a 10-pound bag of potatoes for $2, $3, and I can season it and I can leave the skins on, and I got my little fry making thing. Now it's a booger. I gotta like get the toddler to stand on it to push the potato through.
See, we don't even do that anymore. We hand chop them and they come out perfect. But that's the thing is like you're pricing yourself out of like when and then the other thing that's happening is some inventors, corporations are going, you know what? I'll make a Blackstone griddle that you can now make smash burgers. And so you can make crystal burgers. You know, you can go ahead and pat that beef down real fine so you get that little bitty thing and you make all your own.
Ooh, I saw, and we gotta make this.
Okay.
I saw this on a short. Look, I'm gonna be flat out honest, y'all. When I'm pooping or I just don't want to think, I get on the YouTube and I'm watching the shorts, and I love the food shorts. Look, I'm fat. I don't care. I love the food shorts. Why did you
send this to me then?
I did. Somebody took a tortilla.
Oh yeah.
And made a dadgum Big Mac.
Yeah.
On the tortilla and made like a Big Mac taco. I was like,
Yes, I did see that.
I've got to have like 12 of those. I just gotta.
We definitely need to look into a Blackstone because I think that idea not imagine.
What?
A Blackstone, one of those griddles.
Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah.
I got 16 witnesses.
No, I've never argued
you're
with
good.
it.
You're good.
I think
We're gonna have one next week.
I think we're gonna have to save up for it.
They're only a couple $100,
but still.
I would sell a child.
But I think it would be a good addition to our outdoor kitchen out front. We'd have to put some kind of an over thing on it, but
cook right there. I will put it right there. I'll take these windows out, and I will.
I would like to have doors there instead of windows.
Well, eventually, I would like to just make that a whole closet right there. And
So anyway, but yeah, he showed me that. He sent it to me, and I was like, you know, one of the things that way back a couple of years ago, and I think this was during a COVID thing, the girls and I really like the crunch wraps at Taco Bell.
Yes.
And we learned how to make crunch wraps at home. And I will tell you, better than getting it at. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and look, also another thing that we learned. Look, I don't know how this live stream turned into a food live stream, but that's okay. We're gonna own it tonight, and we're gonna run with it. When I was doing the carnivore diet, we started slowly introducing some things back. Look, I love fried chicken. Ain't gonna lie to you.
Tear it up.
I will tear up some Popeyes. I will. But Robin said, well, look, we're going to get you some fried chicken, but we were staying away from the flour and the wheat. Okay? So she took pork rinds, y'all. Pork rinds. Yep. Have y'all ever had barbecue flavored fried chicken?
Or we did like the salt and vinegar.
Yeah, that one not great. But the barbecue one.
What about the chili lemon one?
Oh yeah, that one's good too.
Yeah, but salt and pepper.
But talk about making your brain cramp for half a second because you're looking at this big juicy chicken leg that looks like something from Kentucky Fried Chicken, and you bite it and it's barbecue flavored.
Yeah.
Your brain will cramp for a second, and but it is so.
Good night, Karen. Thanks for coming by. No more guys' night for Jason. He comes back too. Oh, guys' night. Yeah, no more guys' night. He comes back too wild. You're so energetic that you've done wore out Karen. She's got to go. I'm exhausted.
Sorry, Karen. But look, at the end of the day, I mean, that's what's starting to happen.
Yeah.
And so as homesteaders here and as folks who start to raise your own food and you're doing your own thing, y'all, we're going to be coming up with some awesome stuff. Like, I love when we do the bread and butter pickling of squash and zucchini.
Yes, very good.
And we put some onions in it.
Yep.
And I will
You eat that as a side. Even heat it up.
Look, when you ain't home, I'm eating it out of the jar.
Yeah, but what I thought was interesting is you would even, like, instead of eating it like a pickle cold, he would heat it up and eat it like one of his sides for dinner. And it's actually very good.
We're going to try eggplant this year.
Another thing that just, like, popped into my brain, housing group, I would like to try, you know, we've been talking about, like, peach and habaneros and think, because we're just going to grow some really spicy peppers this year. What about strawberry, like jalapeno or strawberry habanero?
I'll be down for it, but I don't think you're going to get any strawberries because they're all going to go with my frozen yogurt, baby. I'm not even trying to lie, like a little bit, because that frozen yogurt's my new Blizzard. I'm sorry.
Right. And again, here we go. When you start charging $8 for a Blizzard, you know, or $6 for a Blizzard this big, you find other ways, and then what ends up happening is you find better ways.
I wonder if we could, because we have these tins, if we could pour it in there and make it like a Blizzard, and then put it in the let me finish. Put it in the freezer there for 3, 4, 5 hours so it doesn't freeze solid. But then we could
maybe. I know that Carol wants to try to get make some Thin Mints. And then break them up and put them in the mango habanero. Yeah, I know mango. Ooh. Yeah, I know mango habanero is good. But see, I'm interested in trying to make some ice cream like that, like some yogurt, like some hot and sweet. Rain Housing Group. I haven't heard that in a minute. Kiki Garden said, just started 3 quarts of kimchi after harvesting all the Napa cabbage this morning.
Kimchi is one of those things.
Isn't it rotted, or is it just fermented cabbage? What is it?
Fermented cabbage.
Okay, because I've always heard it's rotten.
The only problem with kimchi is the smell.
Yeah.
In all honesty. And then if you eat too much, when you sweat, you start to smell like kimchi. Now, that could be a benefit. You know what? On bin time, maybe I'll just eat a bunch of kimchi and I will like run around the parking lot and get super sweaty before we go in there, and then I can make sure I get the drone and the iPad that I need.
That's so bad.
Hey, it's
what's
war,
up,
baby.
Jonathan? Yeah,
baby.
So
nothing to it but to do it. You know, in my opinion, that's the only problem with kimchi. You got to get past the smell. Once you get past the smell,
I'll just eat sauerkraut instead.
Yeah. Well, kimchi has, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Geeky Gardens, I think kimchi does have a little bit more probiotics than...
I don't know. I just know it's usually
sauerkraut.
Very spicy, right?
I think it does have a little bit more to it than...
I don't know.
Than that, So, if y'all hear that barking in the background, that's Lagatha. She is in heat. She's been in heat since what? The first week of April?
The 6th was her estrus, so her estrus has been a week, so.
And so she has been out there with Gizmo, hoping that they'll make babies, but today I don't have...
I'm not getting warm and fuzzy.
I don't think the dogs understand how this process goes. I don't know, because Lagatha was humping Gizmo.
I don't know. I feel like maybe Gizmo already did what he was gonna do, and now he's like, I have no use for you. Yeah. And so she's like, hey, I need some attention here. You know, don't treat me like a $2 whore. And I'm like, so she's like loving on him, licking on him. And then she was like, hey.
Well, some more.
I want some of this.
Okay, what did Lost Dude say?
That's Lone Star. He said most cultures that do kimchi don't just gorge themselves on it, eat a little bit with each meal. Well, hello there. No. I did get your message, D, but I did not respond because I'm awful.
Lost Dude said everyone was making that a few years ago, and no one is making
videos on
kimchi yet. Not sure about the probiotics, but it only takes 5 days to ferment. Okay. There's Mama D.
She said we had tornadoes and awful weather on Wednesday. Electric was out until last night around 8. No real damage to me, just limbs. How are we? We're okay. I'm glad you came in. I'm sorry I didn't answer you. We were at a training this morning, and I didn't get a chance to answer you this morning. Or we were knee deep in it when your message came through, and I just forgot about it. That was me saying okay, not anything else.
I was gonna let it go, but since you brought it up, I'm just trying to figure out what you're trying to say.
I don't know, but
you trying to say you got another baby on the way or something?
So kimchi, I was looking at this recipe to see what it requires.
You got to put
salted
it in the ground.
Napa, cabbage, and radish.
Mama D says life happens.
Yeah.
You know, I was listening to a talk because we got in not here in a little bit. We've got the walk to Emmaus coming up, and Robin and I are both working on it. We got the men's walk and then the women's walk.
Mm-hmm.
So we started the process. I'm in what's called the conference room, and I'll be doing the tech, this stuff, but I'm also giving a lecture. I'm also doing a talk. Mm-hmm. And so what you have to do is you have to have your talks previewed to make sure that it falls in with the guidelines and everything that goes on with the walk to Emmaus. And one of the guys talking today, you know, when she said life happens, mm-hmm. he was talking about that saying life happens. Mm-hmm. And he said that he was talking about priorities. Mm-hmm. And he was saying, don't let life happen to you.
Yeah.
You happen to life.
Yes.
And I was like, I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's a perspective thing.
That's a perspective thing, but that was really, really cool.
Yeah. No, that's true. Absolutely. You show up for every day instead of. So that's funny. Lone Star said you were talking about the dogs. You said they didn't know how it worked. Sherry said, Big Bear Homestead, have a taco kind of night. Love y'all.
Love you too.
Would that be a fish taco? What? Oh, I guess he's talking about, anyway. But a fish taco, like a taco kind of night. Would it be a fish taco? Jason doesn't remember if he likes fish tacos or not.
I don't ever remember.
We've had them a couple of times, but he doesn't remember having them, so he doesn't remember whether or not he likes them. So, yeah, I don't think I've ever had kimchi, which is funny because my first introduction to sushi was from a lady from Korea, and Koreans eat kimchi all the time.
Kimchi in South Korea.
And I don't remember her having kimchi. And it may have just been she was trying to ease us into her culture and not sucker punch us in the face. Because, back then when you were kids, this was an adult. And she invited us to her house and she made...
I may have had sushi before you.
Yeah?
We did the very first time I was in Korea, we did a tour. Basically, it was a guided tour, and we went into this restaurant where we sat down on the floor. And I think I had sushi.
There you go.
Sushi then. I don't know what I was eating, but
right.
Yeah. Who's that one down there in the bottom?
I don't know if this is true. If not, you're gonna get booted. Drones, not missiles. 200 drones and missiles.
Yeah.
At Israel in retaliatory. Be safer, Israeli and American.
We have to pray for him.
Yeah. Didn't you go to Japan? I know. Lost dude, that was my question. Like I thought I was, and I'm sorry, Malfoy, I just don't recognize your screen name. I've never seen your screen name before, so I don't think I have, and I apologize, but sometimes we have people come in here that Lost dude, when Jason and I were dating, I used to live next to a sushi place. And so when we first started dating, he got hurt. And I thought it would be cool to bring him over some sushi because he had told me he'd been to Japan. So I thought that was pretty cool. And so I went and got sushi, brought it back, and Jason was like, "What is this? Like, what are we eating?" And I'm like, "It's sushi. Like, did you not know what that was?" And he, whatever. So, yep, Iran is hammering Israel. Israel sent their doomsday plane off basically all the high up bigwigs. Iran launched missiles on Israel just now and possibly the U.S., but hopefully not. It's not missiles, supposedly drones. Ezekiel 38 could be amping up. God bless Israel.
Well, look, fellas, let's kind of just, I appreciate y'all coming in and sharing that with us, but let's just kind of keep everything on the positive. Mm-hmm. We got to go to everybody tonight. Just take time and pray. Mm-hmm. And pray for Israel and pray for peace. But those of us that know, at the end of the day, we win.
Right.
But we do have to go through these trials and these tribulations.
Yeah. Lone Star said it perfectly. He said the thing is they've been fighting for millennia.
Yeah.
And it won't stop until the Antichrist. So when peace happens, be ready for the end times.
There you go.
So be careful what you pray for.
Hashtag truth. But this is why we've been on YouTube for so long, teaching how to grow your own food, teaching how to be prepared, teaching how to be more self-reliant, teaching ways to think outside the box, just in case something does go sideways.
Right.
And if it goes sideways, there's no reason to panic. There's no reason to fear. There's no reason to
right.
Go through mass hysteria, because at the end of the day, when the good Lord says it's your time,
it's time to go.
It's time to go. I was somebody said this morning, we were joking around. He had a big fat notebook of different talks that he's given for Tres Dias and Emmaus, and for when people's asked him to, do weddings or to do funerals and stuff like that. And he's kind of got them broken down. They say, look, we just kind of want you to, 10, 15 minutes tops at this funeral. Boom, he's got that. But if somebody says, hey, I want you to lay the hammer down, you got about 45 minutes to an hour, he has one of those sermons.
Nice.
And I said, well, look, you got like a 4 to 6 hour sermon? I said, because if I go, I'm going to have 2 funeral services. Friends and family, people that I love, that I liked. The other one, people not so much, that to invite people that would be like, I didn't even like this guy. Uh-huh. Why did I get this notification and an invite to his funeral? We didn't get along. What you didn't realize is that you're going to be sitting through a 5-hour service, and that was my last natty boo. Because if you
get up, you're going to look like a turd.
No, but all joking aside, y'all, I appreciate y'all coming in here and letting us know, but we're not going to stroke the fear,
yeah,
or the fire to cause panic, because at the end of the day, there's no need for it.
No, there's nothing we can do about it.
No, I mean
we're living in it.
At the end of the day, if those things fall out of the sky, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Keep your faith in the Lord above. Mm-hmm. Keep your faith in Jesus, and just pray for a peaceful resolution. But like Lone Star said, they've been fighting for forever over there, and there's not. I don't see a peaceful solution. So what did he say?
He said, "Well, glad I didn't plan on coming anyhow." And then he said, the Jack in the Box song starts playing from inside the office.
Look, if you miss my funeral, you're gonna miss a really good time. That's all I'm gonna say, because there's gonna be jokes and pranks. Like, you'll probably get a text message from me while you're sitting there. Don't be surprised. I've already got people lined up that are crazy enough to do it for me. And they may or may not be in this chat right now. But at the end of the day, we're not going to sow seeds of fear. Mm-hmm. We've all been prepping for a long, long time. We've all been moving down the road of living a sustainable lifestyle. We've all been building communities to rely on one another, to be able to have a team, to be able to have a family that you can love on one another and support one another and be there for one another in case stuff like this does happen.
April said, "I don't want a funeral or a wake. There will be a hell of a party and free drinks and shots." Don't
take this the wrong way, but I hope you go before me. Free drinks, I hope you go before me, baby.
Oh, you're bad.
But at the end of the day, look, we all know the world is upside down and sideways. Our country's not in the greatest financial situation. We're like the teenage prom queen with daddy's credit card, and we just, went bat poop crazy with it. There's a lot of content creators out there that have been teaching everybody and talking and having conversations about building communities, mm-hmm. and about preparedness and about self-reliance and mm-hmm. growing your own food and stepping out and trying to produce your own energy. So if this happens and it's happening, so be it. I don't really want it to happen right now because there's a few more things that I would like to be able to have in place. But at the end of the day, it's going to be what it's going to be. Mm-hmm. Jesus said no one knows the date, the time when he's coming for his church. Mm-mm. So,
fear no one, but respect many.
Yep.
Yep.
So, keep your eye on it. Don't let it, but do not let that fear of what's happening over there stop you. Right now is your time to put seed in the ground, to prepare those beds. You're living in an apartment. Lone Star Living is a prime example. She's kind of fallen off the YouTube realm, but there used to be a lady out there, Mama Z's Texas Kitchen, who lived in an apartment but had an amazing container garden mm-hmm. out there at her apartment complex. 5-gallon buckets most of the time. They are given away for free at bakeries, especially in your
delis too. If they've got pickles, pickle buckets.
Those are food grade plastics. Mm-hmm. Look, we've shown you how to make self-watering containers out of 2-liter bottles. We're going to be showing you here pretty soon, once I get done making it, how to make an herb garden with the self-watering 2-liter bottles that can go vertical. Mm-hmm. So think outside the box. Now's the time that since this is happening, check. Mm-hmm. Check to make sure you have all of your recipes.
Yeah.
that you want. Check to make sure you have all of the blueprints and instructions on how to build some of the things you want. If the internet goes out, lost dude, hate me forever. I'm sorry I didn't get to the bat box for you. But get them downloaded. Get the papers.
Yeah.
Make sure all your books in your library are good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Make sure that if you're missing any seeds, get to your local feed and seed Monday morning and start getting them. Start getting your ground and stuff prepared. Start getting your containers going. And really start to ramp up what you're doing. We've proven to you that in a very small space, you can grow enough food to last you a year.
Well, I'm going to tell you something I thought was really cool. I've even seen in Clemson, people in balconies, like second and third story apartments, that they work together. I know.
No.
I know.
Look at her.
I know. I see her.
Somebody feeling frisky.
So they took string, they took twine, and tied it at the top of their rung and of their deck, and they tied it to the bottom of their upstairs neighbors, the bottom part of theirs, and so they could grow beans and peas, and they were training them up these, and like it looked really cool because it was almost like a canopy like they were growing. It was really neat. Okay, way back up here, Lone Star said there's a proper guy I follow that says it best. Focus on building a life that's worth perpetuating. Stop stressing about SHTF and work towards a better life. Get out of debt, grow your own food, raise your own food so you aren't a slave to the system. Surviving in Alabama says preparing for the worst and praying for the best also. Did I hear y'all mention Hephzibah? That's where I'm from. Yep, we used to live in Augusta, so Hephzibah was backdoor stomping grounds.
Look, I know you can't see it over here, and we did that for a reason because we got this big whiteboard over here, and we set up the Dave Ramsey money makeover plan right here. Our budget is right here, so we make sure you guys don't see it because I mean that's our personal info. But let me tell you, by having it there and looking at it every day, we know what's in our emergency fund. Yeah. We know, our only debt right now is the tractor and the side by side.
And the house.
We are taking donations. No, I'm just kidding. But once that's paid, once that's done and paid off, then we will get our emergency fund to be fully funded, where it'll be, 3 months
3 to 6 months.
6 months to a year. But we're also going to kind of kick in, like we're going to have a Christmas fund. We're going to have the tractor maintenance fund, car maintenance fund, and then we're going to put stuff aside for medical stuff because I get right now because I'm not at 100%. But I'm high enough that all my medical needs are covered, but Robin and the girls are not. Now, once I get to 100%...
Well, and the girls are rapidly approaching being old enough to...
Right, but they're going to be in college. Both of them are going to hopefully be in college. Carol's already there. Dessa's supposed to start in the fall. So I can't do the Save for Your Kids College Fund because my kids are going to already be in college by the time I get to that that part. And then it's going to be paying off the farm, paying off the house. And, once that financial freedom is, they say that one of the biggest killers of marriages is money. Well, we don't fight about money at all. Because we have our budget looking us right in the face the first thing we look up in the morning, and you can't argue with math. So we know what we got to do. And so we work together as a team to get those things accomplished. We do a zero budget, and so we make sure whatever we got left over at the month, it hits that debt. But I do encourage everybody to do that. Not only is it a great preparedness thing because you're not like Dave Ramsey says, you're not a slave to anybody, because the borrower is always a slave to the lender.
Yep.
You know, so you have that freedom, but you also, I really don't know how to articulate this, but there's a peace. There's a feeling of peace that goes along with being debt free. You know, there's the it kicks open doors of being able to show the love of Christ by helping somebody else, and because you're able to.
Right.
To be able to kick open that door and give somebody a blessing. And so that's, you know, nobody can come and then take your stuff then too when you own it.
Right.
So that's the big thing. I could go
forever
on a rabbit trail, but I'm not going to. But you know, we have to, if you take all of the junk that's going on in the world and let's just not talk about it. As homesteaders, we are naturally preppers because we have to take into consideration when we have a bumper crop of squash or tomatoes or something. That next year, when we save our seeds from our best plants, and so we're hoping that, you know, by saving these seeds, we saved the best ones that were drought tolerant, that were disease tolerant.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. So even next year, we're gonna have a better year.
Yeah.
But what happens if we have all of a sudden a population boom of the hornworm? You know, and our tomatoes really take a hit, you know. So when we had that bumper crop of that stuff, we naturally can it, make stuff with it, put it away, so that way, if that does happen, it'll be able to stretch until we can get that kind of stuff under control. You know, like we've gotten into the habit as with eggs right now, because we have an overabundance of eggs, and the market, it's where I live. Don't ask. It's too big of a conversation. I think Luke is the only one. He's in here that will be swapping out with eggs, but Luke's part of our community. We are taking our eggs and we are taking those cupcake
silicone
cupcake trays. If you're not using them, let me tell you something, you're just wrong. They are probably the best, biggest, most multi-purpose kitchen tool there is. Because we make butter and we put them in that, and it's exactly a quarter of a cup. We take because I live with Nazis, they take my frozen yogurt and they put it in there, and I want to get that little thing of frozen yogurt.
You get 2 of them, so it's a half a cup.
It's still husband abuse. And so we take our eggs and we put them in there and we freeze them. There's so many things other than making cupcakes that you can use these things for.
Banana muffins.
Banana nut muffins.
Yep.
All those things.
Yep.
Probably the best kitchen tool there is out there. We make the little cheese, pepperoni, like the
chips,
mini pizzas without without the bread, and those things are stinking off the chain. They're amazing. Love them.
Little mini meatloaves. You can make.
The mini meatloaves. Those were pretty good.
Yeah, you can make. One of the new things I want to try and do is mini shepherd's pies. I think those would be cool. That's a lot of work, but I think it would be good. I think it'd be good.
You know, but so those are a good tool to have, to be able to put the stuff when you have an abundance off.
Yes.
This is definitely the time with stuff ramping up like this that you need to start looking at what are you doing? At the livestock that you have. You know, this might not be the year to do broilers. In all honesty, we're not doing them. We had very bad luck with them last year.
A lot of people did.
A lot of people
I'm
did.
hearing. The more we talk about it, the more other people are like, yeah, we have that same problem.
So we're going to take a break from them. I don't know if it was because of 2020 and then the avian flu that came around that really hit everybody so hard that the quality of the bird went down. I don't know. I'm not a chickenologist, so I don't tend to know. I know we did not change anything that we did, and we went from getting, 5 to 7 pound birds to 2 and 3 pound birds.
Yeah.
So we're taking a step back, and we're going to be getting more Rhode Island Reds and more Barred Rocks. I want to get more buffs, but Carol has PTSD from when she was little. A buff Orpington rooster walked up her back, even though she ate the thing. But she's still little.
I don't know. Nowadays, I think, we've had some pretty rough roosters, and she's just mean, just as mean as the roosters. So.
And so we're gonna get quail, but we're gonna get stuff that we can keep the line going. Silkies are a good one to invest in. Mm-hmm. Silky hens tend to go broody real easy. So if you don't have access to an incubator, get you some silkies or some of the what are those little ones called that you got running around? Bantams. Those guys tend to go broody.
Yeah. Now I do have something I found out this week that I wanted to throw out there. A friend of mine, we were talking, and she was looking for she has Rhode Island red chicks. And somebody said to her that they asked her if her Rhode Islands were heritage. And she was like, what? Like, Rhode Island Reds are always heritage. And they were like, no, Rhode Islands are not always heritage. And so I reached out to Murray McMurray and I asked them because she got her original stock from Murray McMurray. Well, come to find out, Murray McMurray's line of Rhode Island Reds are bred for production. When they are breeding, they're selectively breeding for chickens that lay more eggs and that are less broody. And if you know what the definition of a heritage breed is, that goes against that. So if you're looking for more of a heritage breed, you might get the Rhode Islands from wherever, because my suspicion is that a lot of places are doing that. And then you may have to breed that quality out over time.
If you have a hen that goes broody, don't kill her.
Yeah. So that's my 2 cents. I wanted to tell everybody that I found that out, that technically, and that goes to the character and the integrity of Murray McMurray. They could say Rhode Island Reds are heritage breed, but they choose to be honest and say, well, not really, because this is how we do it, and technically that makes this production line not technically a heritage breed. So do with that what you will, but I just wanted
and that's why we work with Murray McMurray is because of that level of integrity. Like when they were going through all the mess with avian flu, they were upfront and honest. Lost Two said he heard that they're the only ones that are having a survival hatch rate.
Good survival rate this year.
Survival rate this year. We haven't talked to them about broilers because we're just taking a break from them from this year, maybe next year. We may go back to them the third year, but we are making some big changes here because we have big plans. To be able to start to get this homestead to be able to start to also make some income.
Well, and the other thing too is we have resources now that we didn't have a couple of years ago. We have 2 other families at least that are also raising birds.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we have started to do is everybody's kind of swapping out roosters and keeping bloodlines clean so that way we can all kind of help each other out.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody,
that's that community.
Right, so everybody will have eggs, everybody will have, you know, rooster chicks that they can raise up for
Mm-hmm.
meat birds and perpetuate their lines. So that's the thing, and we try to keep impressing upon you guys is that building that community and finding that is a very valuable resource, because you may have a good year with tomatoes and somebody else might have a better year with cucumbers. You can swap them out and make cucumber salad.
Because the nice part when you live out in the sticks,
Mm-hmm.
you know, your community might be everybody at your church, and you know some of those people may be 30 minutes from you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. People that come over to our small group, they travel about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. Two of the families do, and they both still live in Elbert County, but that's just how big the county
is. Yeah.
And so it takes anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to get here, depending, you know, what little bit of traffic when you go through downtown. You know, but which means that's two totally different microclimates.
Yes.
So we could be having issues with squash bugs, and they're not. We could be having, you know, and vice versa. They could be having issues with hornworms, and we're not. You know, or asparagus beetles, or you know, anything, white flies, aphids,
anything.
You know, anything. They could have an abundance of daddy longlegs, so we got to go over there and collect them, so that way we can put them in our garden. Because daddy longlegs, aphids is like crack to them, so they're gonna want them, and so just that's why there's a lot of us out there that are pushing community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jess and Maya are over 2 hours away from us. The Hollers are about the same.
Yeah.
You know, and they're really good friends of ours.
But they're not
in our community. You know, so if anything did go crazy, that 2.5 hours could turn into a lifetime.
Yeah.
To be able to get to them, you know, it really depends on what happens, you know, and so you have to build the community where you're at. April is like what, an hour and a half away from us? April, how far are you from us?
Hour 15 maybe.
Yeah.
So,
unless the moment that it starts to go down, April gets in the car and heads this way,
it's going to,
you know, it would be a hard track for her. To get to us, you know, and so the beauty of it is that you know we develop these friendships and these relationships here on YouTube and through this. Lost Dude's been with us for years.
Yep.
And Lone Star Living. We
D.
finally got to meet him at the Shindig a few years back, and it was great.
This is gonna blow your mind. 5 years ago.
I know it's been a while.
5 years ago. It's crazy.
You know, the Rod and Staff Farm, they're 45 minutes from us, but they're in a sweet location.
And they were before COVID too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
you know, and
5 years ago.
And so we've developed these friendships and these relationships. Lost Dude's all the way on the West Coast. He's all the way on the other side. That if things happen, all I could do for those is pray for them.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's why we do what we do, is to empower people to learn this stuff so that we don't have to worry about them. We know that
we're still going to worry about them.
Right, but you know what I mean. We're not going to we're not going to worry. We're just going to
No, we're gonna worry. It's just not
a different type of worry.
It's a different type of worry.
Right.
You know.
So, all right, y'all. 9:15.
Well, we can just keep on going, just not do an after show because it's on. I don't know if Luke is still in here, but it was, and just like Mind and Body, those are the only two.
Neana's in here.
Neana.
April.
Okay, yeah. So never mind.
So, all All right, y'all. We're gonna call it a night. Anybody who's a member, what's the Panda? No.
Panda or above?
Yeah, Panda or above. We'll do an after show in a little bit. Look for us at about what, 9:30? Give us about 15 minutes.
Yeah, it gives about 15, 20 minutes to eat these sausages and get them down our gullet. And plus, I want to do some more research about all that stuff that's going down over there. We'll probably be talking about it a little bit in the after show. I appreciate those gentlemen that came in and announced it and turned around and left. But at the end of the day, I think they were just out. I don't think there was any mischief.
No.
With that, they just wanted to
let us know.
And they may be what is
lurkers.
considered lurkers.
Yeah, they hang out, but they don't comment much. They don't
comment. I love our lurkers.
Lost Dude says if it went down, I'd be on my way to Tennessee.
There you go.
Sounds good. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good evening, and we will see you on the flip side. See you next week.
God bless. Okay, this here's the part for the end screen that everybody loves so much. Everybody wants to hang out. For a second, I was thinking about singing a song, but I've got this cough, so I'm not going to sing a song. So I'm just going to say goodnight. We love y'all.